What's up everyone? My name is Marie. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. So for today's speed build, I am building a tiny home in Windenburg, and I'm building in that island part of Windenburg, the more foresty area that is surrounded by the lake, obviously because it's an island. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite part of Windenburg. It's so pretty, the scenery is just amazing, and it's actually been a while since I've built anything in this part of the world. So yeah, I was definitely really excited to just sit down and build something on this lot, and I also was just having a lot of fun with it. So like I mentioned, I am building a tiny home on this lot. I didn't use the tiny home residential lot because there is a lot of patio space outside, and if you didn't know, when you try to build a tiny house with the tiny home residential trait kind of thing, then all the rooms that you create count towards the amount of tiles that you're using. So all the outside patio space, for example, also counts towards the amount of tiles. So yeah, that makes it really difficult to build a tiny house if you want to use a lot of patio space. And that's what I wanted to do for this one, definitely, because I was imagining that the person who lives here is the kind of person that loves spending time outside and just hanging out outside. So yeah, that's kind of what I was going for with this this tiny house, and I think that it turned out really cute. So I didn't really have any reference pictures or anything for this one. I just kind of sat down and started building. So I kind of gave it a modern look and feel. It kind of looks like a modern cabin and also kind of like a prefabricated house. I put it on a stilted foundation because I think that looks really good, and I just thought that it would fit this house really well. And yeah, I'm still really happy about that, that decision. And the one thing that I knew I wanted to do was create a split-leveled patio area. So that's what I was doing. I was definitely fiddling around with it a bunch of times, because for some reason it was just a lot of trial and error. I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get it to look the way I wanted it to look. So yeah, here for a little while I was thinking I'll just put the house on a foundation and I'll just create a patio area without a foundation, because otherwise the stairs would look really big and bulky, and I just didn't like the look of that. But then again, I changed my mind for like the third time or something, and then I did create another patio area, and in the end I actually did get it to work, and I did get the stairs to look the way I wanted them to look, so I was really happy about that. Like I mentioned, it was a lot of trial and error, but yeah, I just kind of left it all in the video because I always like watching people's trial and error and just kind of the whole process of a house coming together, basically. So yeah, here you can see that I finally figured it out, and I finally got it to look the way I wanted it to look with the stairs and everything. So I was really happy about that. So yeah, for the color scheme for this house, I went for a lot of darker browns, because I just thought that it would fit the surroundings really well. And yeah, it was just kind of that calm look and feel, if that makes any sense. I always like the darker, warmer colors for homes like this that are in a more foresty area, because for some reason to me it just kind of makes sense for houses in the forest to be more of a darker brown. So yeah, that's what I was going for, and I really like how all the wood tones match, but still don't look too matchy-matchy on the outside. So yeah, I was really happy about that. And here you can really see the shape of the house and the shape of the patio come together. I did use one of those glass inserts above the front door to have it look a little bit more modern. The front door is also a sliding door, so those are some aspects of the house that definitely make it look a little bit more modern and prefabricated, in my opinion, and that's really what I was going for. Here, for a short amount of time, I was trying to place a tree inside the porch area, which I think looks really cool. I still think that's a great idea, but it just took a little bit too much space, in my opinion, because I did want to use the outside to place down a barbecue, place down some planters and some of those bug items, those bug keeper things. I don't really know what they're called, but they came with eco lifestyle, because I was really imagining the person who lives here, they are really into being, yeah, eco-friendly like that, and into like taking care of bugs and maybe even eating bugs. Like they're really interested in that sort of thing. So yeah, for the storyline for the sim who lives here, you can kind of tell by the title, but I was thinking that they could be a traveler. And I mean that in the sense that they just really like to travel the world. You will see that once I move on to the landscaping of this lot, but I gave them a truck from the debug item. Obviously trucks and cars don't work, but I was just imagining that the person who lives here, they have a truck and also a dog. So the person who lives here has a dog. So I also furnished it for a dog in that sense. But yeah, I was thinking that they just like to hop in their car and start driving around and travel the world by car, just the two of them, the sim and the dog. And that means that sometimes they will be gone for like months at a time, and then they will come back and stay here in their little house for months at a time. So I was kind of just imagining that they would stay here for like half a year, and then the rest of the year they will be out and just traveling the world and go wherever their truck takes them, basically. So yeah, they're really free-spirited people, or the sim is a really free-spirited person who likes to travel the world and discover new things and meet new people. So that's kind of what I was imagining. And maybe they make money by writing books about that. I thought that would be a fun idea. Maybe they have like a blog or something that they post on about wherever they travel to. Or maybe, I mean, that's a fun idea and all, but it would also be really cool if they would maybe have a YouTube channel or something. Maybe they record all their travel experiences and just kind of, yeah, make YouTube videos out of them and have like a travel vlog or something. So maybe it's like a combination of those things. Like maybe they have a travel vlog, but also write books and write blogs about all their experiences. I think that would be a really fun idea. So yeah, like I mentioned, they will be gone for like half a year at a time, and then they will come back and stay here for the rest of the year to kind of like maybe save up some money for their next trip or something, get all of their things in order. So yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining. I hope that this little storyline makes any sense, but I was definitely having a lot of fun thinking about it and thinking about it right now. So yeah, I was thinking that the person who lives here is a guy, but it doesn't have to be a guy, obviously. It could also be a girl. It really doesn't matter. I always feel like I have to kind of explain that in my voiceovers because I would feel bad if I like offended anyone. That's definitely not what I'm trying to do. But yeah, that's just, I was thinking that it could be a guy, and that's just kind of what inspired me to build the house a certain way and decorate the house a certain way, but it obviously could also be a girl. But here you can see me placing down that truck that I was imagining they travel the world in, or maybe not the world, but like definitely the parts of the world that you can go to by car, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it was just, I was imagining that the sim would like to spend a lot of time outside, so I placed down a little grill area and a place for the dog to sleep. And I kind of created that little table outside. Obviously it doesn't really work as a table because it's a window decoration, so your Sims won't place anything on there, but they can still sit on the bar stools and eat a meal like that. They'll just kind of hold it in their hand. So in that sense, it is kind of functional. It's just they won't use that decoration piece as a table, but still they can sit down there and eat a meal if they wanted to. But yeah, I will go back to the outside and decorate the outside a little bit more later on. But here you can see that I moved on to the inside. And for the inside, I used kind of like outdated appliances, a little bit older looking cabinets, but still kind of modern. But yeah, just not the most luxurious looking items, because I didn't want this house to turn out too expensive. And it's still like, it's for a person who is not here all the time. Like, it has to be a comfortable little house, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be too luxurious, and because I don't think the sim really cares about the best appliances and having the most modern electronics and stuff like that. They just want to have a house that is just big enough for them and their dog, and yeah, just has all the right appliances that you would need to be comfortable. But yeah, nothing too crazy, too luxurious. So that's definitely what I was going for. I cluttered up the kitchen a little bit. I left the corner counterpiece empty. So that is the corner or the counterpiece that your Sims would use to cook on, and it all works out perfectly fine. I play tested it and all, so yeah, it should all work as long as you just activate bb.move objects on before you place it down, then everything should be fine. And yeah, I gave them a few little shelves here in the kitchen. I went through the debug catalog and just looked up some like milk jars or milk jugs and cluttered up the shelves a little bit with those little items, and I think it turned out really cute. It looks really lived in, but still not too crazy and too like messy, because tiny houses can look really messy really fast, and I still wanted this house to be like okay for gameplay, because whenever I like build something and I clutter it up all the way, I think for building it looks really good, but then whenever I try and use one of my own builds for gameplay, sometimes I find that they're just a little bit too cluttered, and I'll end up deleting a whole bunch of it, because for gameplay sometimes it's just a little bit distracting and it can get a little bit annoying. So yeah, for this house I was definitely just trying to keep an eye out for that, to not have it too cluttered and still have it look, yeah, just kind of alright for gameplay, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm just cluttering up the kitchen a little bit here and there, and then I didn't give them a proper dining table, but I did give them a couple of island counters with some bar stools again. So that little area could also go for a little workspace, because I also gave this Sim a laptop, because like I was saying, I think they like to write books and maybe even like to upload vlogs. So they need a space to kind of do their job and edit videos, or just write their book and just have a connection to the internet, basically, because that's probably how they make money. So yeah, and I was really trying to use that little fireplace that we got with Eco Lifestyle, because I just think it looks really good and I think it has the perfect look and feel for this house. But unfortunately, I ended up not having the space to use that fireplace, so that was a bummer. But yeah, I just had to get rid of it, because I also needed a place for the Sim to sleep and a place for them to just sit down and relax, watch TV, and also I wanted to add a dresser and everything, because I did want this house to be fully functional. Even though your Sims don't necessarily need a dresser to change, you can just click on the Sim and have them change their outfits, but still, it's just not realistic to not have any sort of dresser or any sort of storage space for anything. So yeah, that just didn't make any sense, so I had to get rid of that fireplace in the end, unfortunately. But I'm sure I'll have another opportunity to use that fireplace eventually. So yeah, for the part of the bed, that needs some explaining, because I did place those two walls, because for some reason I wasn't too sure, but I did think that your Sim would still be able to enter the bed, because I thought that your Sim would only need the middle square basically to enter the bed or to use the bed, because I thought that I had tested that like a while back, so I was kind of just counting on the fact that it would work, but I wasn't sure. But when I went to play test it, unfortunately it didn't work. So when you download this house and use it for your own gameplay, if you want to, it will look a little bit different, but not too different. So basically that one square wall where the fireplace is right now, I had to delete that wall to be able to make the bed functional. So for the rest, the house still basically looks the same. The only thing I had to do is I had to get rid of that one piece of wall. And what I did instead is I added a couple of curtains, or just one set of curtains, to kind of just still close off the part of the bed properly. So when you go ahead and download this house, you'll see that that looks a little bit different. Or if you want to stick around for the screenshots later on, you'll see it too, because I took the screenshots obviously after I play tested everything. So you'll see that that part of the house looks a tiny bit different, but it kind of looks better in my opinion. So it's a shame that I didn't record that to put in the video, because in my opinion, yeah, it kind of looks better that way. It looks more cozy. But yeah, I didn't record it because I just play tested it literally like 10 minutes ago. But yeah, you can see it in the screenshots if you're curious. I also had to get rid of that dog bed in the end because, yeah, the Sim just couldn't use the bed if there was anything in that little area right there. So yeah, I had to get rid of the wall and I had to get rid of the dog bed, but I added some curtains and it looks all cozy and it looks still really good in my opinion. So yeah, that was just a little something that I came across while playtesting. But in the end, it all worked out just fine. And I always like that little trick where I place down a bookcase at the end of the bed. I always think that it looks really cozy. Obviously, that bookcase is not functional now, but still it looks really good. So that is the one thing that I didn't have any space left for in this house, is a functional bookcase. But if you wanted to, maybe you could get rid of something else and place down a bookcase somewhere. But for this house, I mean, the sim also has a laptop and a TV and everything. And I don't really find myself using the bookcases in gameplay a whole bunch. Like, I use them sometimes, but definitely not too often. Especially when my sim has a computer and a TV. Like, I don't really use the bookcases that much. So yeah, I decided to just take my loss there and yeah, just not add a functional bookcase to this house. And yeah, I totally just talked over the bathroom, but it was just a really simple bathroom. I did make sure to add a tub because I wanted this house to be functional for a dog as well. And if you didn't know, for a dog you need to have a bathtub to give them baths, basically, because your dogs will get dirty. But yeah, that was basically already it for the inside of this house. So I moved on to the rest of the patio space. I gave the sim a couple of planters because I was imagining that they would be really into growing their own fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And I gave them a few of those bug storage items. I honestly really should look up what they're called, but I'm sure you know what I mean, because like I explained earlier, they're probably really into eating bugs and stuff like that. They are really into trying things like that. But yeah, I basically just furnished a little, or decorated a little fireplace area right here because I was really imagining that this sim loves to hang out around the fireplace and play the guitar. So whenever they're here, they will probably have like friends over from time to time and they'll just hang out outside around the fire and play music and stuff like that, because I was imagining that the sim would be really good at playing the guitar and singing. Maybe that's also a way that they make a little bit of money, is by just playing their guitar and singing songs like on the streets or something. I think that would be really cute too. I think the sim would be really creative like that and they would be really good at that. But yeah, I'm just placing a couple of those string lights, which I always think look so cozy, and they worked out perfectly for this house in my opinion. And I was really just enjoying that little pond area in general. It just really finished up the build in my opinion. And yeah, I'm really happy overall with the way that this house came out. So I do hope that you like it too. Here you can see that I just placed down a couple more plants and everything around the lot to make it look a little bit more like it has been here for a while, a little bit more overgrown and realistic in that sense. But yeah, that was pretty much already it for this house. We'll be moving on into screenshots in just a little while. I'm just placing down a couple of lights and then yeah, that's it. So if you want to, you can download this build off the gallery. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. And you can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!